Today we're down at Pitbull Guitar Forum member Jarrod's Man Cave. Jarrod, thanks for having us.
No worries, Adam.
Yeah, we come to check out the finishes Jarrod's getting on some of the kits he's done. He's got the SV1 here in blue and an STA Ash one kit here in sort of a, what did you say that was, Jarrod?
Oh, it's a bit of a tobacco burst, that one.
Tobacco burst. I'm not sure if the finishes are coming up there, but he's getting this beautiful high gloss finish on his guitars. So we're going to come and check out his gear, and we'll get him to show you guys how you can achieve this on a pretty reasonable budget. Jarrod, this is Waldo?
This is Waldo, this is the spray booth.
Right, so tell us about it. And you're saying this cost about $100 to make?
About $100, $50 for the tank, which I turned upside down to get the right height and put him on wheels.
So this is an old water tank?
This is just a water tank.
Okay.
These you can buy on eBay, anywhere, to be honest with you.
And I'm not sure if you can see, but up the top he's got a ventilation shaft coming out and then an extractor fan down the bottom which goes outside. And that's because sometimes you use your 2-pack.
Use 2-pack, but it's also good with the acrylic because you'll find that it keeps any overspray off your guitar as well. And it's simply made with just a bucket up there just to put on, and I've got a water system that runs for a wall of water at the back which attracts the overspray as well, so you can keep it all off the guitar. Now, to build something like this, as I say, is complete is probably around $300, which is fairly cheap really on the whole scenario of things, and things like your guns you can buy from Bunnings, very cheap, very adequate.
And you can't see there, but he's got the gun here leading down to an air compressor there, which you can also get Bunnings pretty cheap. So Jarrod, this is our TLA1, which we want to give to you, and if you can do one of your fantastic paint jobs on this and show us what you're doing as you go, that'd be fantastic. I'm sure the guys would appreciate it.
Not a problem.
Thanks very much, Jarrod. Cheers.
No worries, thanks Adam. Okay guys, welcome back to the Man Cave. What I want to show you in this segment is how to spray the perfect burst. So what I've got here is I've got a TLA1 ash body as described by Adam. What I've done is I've pulled out the burst on it, the grain, and I've gone over with a red dye. So what we're going to actually do now is we're going to go around with a black burst. I'm going to go quite a thick one on this, and I'm going to show you how to do that. Okay guys, what I've got here first of all is my water-based paints and my airbrush. Now these are the paints I use. These are called Auto Air colours. Now this is a transparent and this is a semi-opaque. Now that'll give you a solid colour, that'll give you like a see-through colour, sprayed lightly of course. Now these two paints are what I'm going to do my burst in over my die, which I'll show you how to do. Now this is a high quality airbrush. You don't need this. This is an Iwata. You can get just a simple airbrush from Bunnings for about $20, $25. It'll do just as good a job for a burst or anything like that. I've got this because I do quite a lot of airbrushing, so there you go. Okay, I've loaded my paint pot into my airbrush. Now, the big mistake that people make with burst is they go with the burst. That's a bad idea because you won't know until you put the clear coat over, but you'll get unsightly overspray over the rest of the guitar. The correct way to do it is either to go completely flat or to go slightly into the burst. That way you get no overspray on the centre bit that you don't want the burst on. Okay, so I've got my mask on. I have my paint and my airbrush. A little test. Now we're going to work our way out to the burst. So we're going to start by coming around on the corners, and then we're going to work our way out depending on how thick we want our burst. So simple way of doing it is just to lightly do your first coat on the corners. Very simple. Following that guitar around. Now because I'm going quite a big burst, I'm not over stressing about pointing. Sorry, you can't really see there, can you? About how much paint I put on. So we're going to come around the corners. Now with this paint you will find it will clog your airbrush. So we're going to come into it. Okay, so what we've done there is we've put a light coat around the corners to start with. We're just following the guitar around, so this is the most simple way of airbrushing really, but it is also the most effective. So we'll come around so we don't go with the burst. And also don't worry about trying, if you put too much paint on in one go with this stuff, because it does soak into the wood very well. This is just like a base coat. So we're coming into our corners. Pointing down, like I said, not into the burst that way. We don't want to put oversprays on the guitar. Okay guys, so what we've got now is, just by giving that one run round, we've got the start of our burst, which is just in the corner. Nothing too flash at the moment, but we're going to start coming out with our solid colour. And then as we get to the outside of the burst, coming a bit further in, we're going to switch over to the transparent paint. And that's just gonna make that fade a little bit nicer. Okay guys, like I said, on this one I wanted to get a nice big burst with a long fade, so what I've ended up with is that. That's going with the semi-opaque around the outside and then going in with the transparent. Now that'll all come out nice once the clear goes on, but you get the idea. Hey guys, okay, we're going to put our mist coat on. Now, I'm not going to spray paint while the camera's on because I value my camera a bit more than that, but what I'm going to show you is on your settings, on your guns. Now, here you have a direct beam or a wide beam. Now, to do our mist coat, we're going to do a wide beam so we cover a big light area. So, and the way we're going to do that, we're going to set that to wide. If you read the instructions of your gun, it'll show you how to do that, but all guns do it. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to come across the guitar, along the face, nice even coats, nice speed. And we're just going to put a mist coat on that. Just like that. And with my little setup I've got here of the microphone stand, I can then just turn the guitar and then do the other side and the sides, etc. Now, the important thing with this is to keep the coats nice and even, and we're not looking for any major glossy finish coming out the gun at the moment. What we're looking for is just a nice sealing coat for the next coat to take to, and it also seals the wood. Now, I would be leaving this to dry for about probably 15-20 minutes, and then I'll start with the other coats. So that's how we'll do the first coat. I'll get on with that now and I'll show you the finished product. Okay, here's our first mist coat on, which is always quite exciting because it brings the colour out nice, which I will just show you now. I've got some beautiful grain in this piece of wood. So what we've done is we've just put a light coat on. If we go too heavy with ash wood, it will bubble. Which means as it's trying to soak into the wood, it can cause small pinholes, which, to be honest with you, are very hard to fill. So nice light coats to start with before we start the rubbing down. Okay guys, as you can see now, we've put the one heavy coat on over the two lights and we've sanded that back. Now I sand that back with a 220 grit. There's no reason to go fine, so it leaves a nice rough coat on. and we've done that all over. As you can see, there's still the grain popping out, which I'll give you a close-up of. So we've still got some grain to fill. I think that's probably going to take another 3 coats to fill and cut back in each coat. Okay, so what we've actually got here, guys, is we've got our last coats on, which are looking pretty special, pretty good. So nice sunburst on the back, big heavier sunburst, and we've got our sunburst on the front. And what we're going to do now is we're going to cut it back with a 2000 grit, because if you get close you probably won't see it with the camera, but acrylic comes out quite lumpy and not the same as a 2-pack finish. So with acrylic we tend to cut it back and we'll polish him up, and I'll show you all the materials used, and that'll be our next step. What we're going to do now is we've got our clear coating on our body. So we've got a nice red burst here now with a burst around the outside. So what we're going to do now is we're going to sand it flat. We're going to use a bit of 1500 first, just to get the big parts off, and then we're going to go over with a 2000, and we're going to take every single lump and bump out until we've got a complete matte finish with no dimples. So, like we're all pretty much accustomed to sanding, we're going to take a bit of 1500 with a bit of wet soapy water, and we're going to completely flatten it off. And that's going to be ready for the buffing stage then. So, instead of standing here for hours watching me do this, we might just speed things up a bit. Okay, so what we've got now is we've got half the guitar done, and just to give you an idea, don't know if you can see the difference, but basically what we've got to achieve is to flatten the guitar off so there's no dimples. Any dimples that you see that are shiny, well, they're going to show up when you've polished it and you're going to see a dimple in your finish. We don't want that, we want it completely flat. So rather than you watching me do this, I'll get on with this and then we'll get ready for the next stage.